box set, the reunion, and the Classic Rock Awards. So first of all, how are you feeling about the forthcoming box set?
What do I feel about it? Well, as long as it looks good, then obviously it's a nice thing. A nice thing to be recognised like that. If it looks like shit, then I'm not so happy with it. But I have faith in you, Ian, and Snapper, so I'm sure Rob's got his own version of that one.
No, it all sounds very exciting.
The feedback we're getting, and this is the first time that all albums have been together in the same package, because the first two albums are another source. And we've also included I think it includes every recording that you've done. Plus, we've got the signed certificate for Roger, the imitation sounds tape, which Rob will kindly hold up there, which has just got family articles in it, 3 CD singles, a 72-page book with lots of unreleased pictures and cuttings.
Wow.
And the whole box itself, so far we've had a lot of people very excited about it. But is there any particular thing that, Rob, you know, out of that you're pleased to see out? You're just pleased to see it all together? Or?
I'm looking forward to it, because I mean, to be honest, I can't remember when you were saying unreleased tracks and things like that. You know, I can't remember half of these. You know, it's how many years ago, for goodness sake, you know.
Well, it is 40. I mean, it's the sort of 40 years since Packstation.
I never knew there were any outtakes. I never knew that until this last 3 months.
When we found tapes.
Yeah. I mean, and they're good actually.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, that's always the case, isn't it?
Before the overdubs.
Why did we use that one?
Because obviously we had strings and things over that. But some of the bass tracks are really good, and it's just our kind of little inventions.
Yeah.
And they're really nice to hear.
There's a particular Spanish Time. There's about 6 different versions on that, and you actually hear the track developing.
Yeah.
And you hear Charlie talking to the producer. It's really, the clarity is fantastic. But I think one of the most important things and most exciting things from our point of view was the fact it's like they're from the original masters. So the quality on CD will probably be the best we've ever had on CD before, because 6 of the albums are straight from master tape, including the alternate tapes which were found on in your loft, Roger. Is that correct?
Oh, so apparently, yes. But I couldn't play them, because they're on like 2-inch or inch.
Yeah.
Then it's just been there.
Real things.
This shit, and I kind of went, well, ignored it, to be honest. I thought he said you could do something with these.
That's
things. So
we
carted it all down here and I found all this stuff.
We baked them, put them onto digital, and then I was sent the CDs to listen to see what they were. And of course, that was the eureka moment when I was hearing instrumental versions of My Friend the Sun and studio chatter talking about getting pizzas brought in, and really intimate things which were fantastic, because from a fan's perspective, it was just, you got a real insight to being in the studio with you guys, and it was just it was a revelation. And as I said, when we played it back to Roger in this room, he was completely shocked.
I mean, that's it.
I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. I mean, does that mean I can't play them on my dance set? You think I'm joking, don't you? I'm not.
Well, we might be able to do some 180 gram, or maybe even put them on 78s for you.
Vinyls are coming back.
That could be. It's definitely coming back. But you know, there's different aspects of the box that people I've spoken to are finding exciting. The book, Pete Fink's just done a fabulous job, and he's done a lot of great research. There's a woman in America who's produced loads of backstage photos, sketches. She was a big family fan, and she worked for Vogue, I believe, at the time. But it's, you know, the box is not out till the end of January. But just getting the whole package together, there's so many sales points in there that each fan, a lot of different fans, are finding it exciting. They're finding different bits. Some people are more excited about the sound quality. Others are about the unreleased tape. Others about the book.
Yeah. I mean, just in a basic sense, to be honest, I never ever thought that all our albums would actually be in one collection.
It's remarkable. We've had all Chile, Argentina, the Ukraine, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, a lot from America.
Oh, you've not seen the tour for next year then?
Now that leads on nicely, because obviously what's prompted the excitement was then with the reunion, which, you know, what made you decide to finally, Roger, to have a go?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I assume Rob's the same. You know, he'd been asked the question, right, all over the 40 years, basically. And it's never kind of come together. You know, we drifted apart. It's like being at school with people you knew and you did that. And some people tend to think you still hang out together. Well, it's 40 years later, you know, whole new careers, families, everything. Every move, every pastures, you know, new pastures. And I just got, I suppose, I just got that much, I was going to say flack, asked so many times, and I thought, oh, well, okay, we'll see if people are interested, and if so, and if we've all got the bottle to have a go, then let's have a go, you know. And then, of course, the box set thing came up, so
it
all kind of started to tie in.
And of course, going on to the reunion, you know, you put one day and you sold out in no time at all, and it looks like the second date's about to sell out as well. But you obviously felt, Roger, the time was right after all this time, you know, to
I don't know why. I mean, I just got bored of being asked, I suppose.
Well,
but I said, to be honest, I left it to others. You know, it wasn't under my direction at all. I says, all right, I'll have a go if everybody else is interested, you know, and so obviously the word went out.
Now, Charlie Whitney, many people are asking, not in the lineup, the reunion lineup, but he was asked, wasn't he?
Yes, of course. Obviously, he was one of the first, you know, besides Rob, one of the first to be asked, for the obvious reasons that the three of us are the mainstay of the band anyway, you know.
Absolutely.
And whatever happened, well, we hope for us three, you know, plus extras, but Charlie lives elsewhere. Again, like I said earlier, you know, we've all, over 40 years, we've all developed our different lifestyles and gone different ways, and Charlie now lives in another part of the world. He's in the sunshine playing bazookas and eating chopsticks or something. I mean, he wasn't interested. You know, he says, well, good luck, but I'm not going to come over just for the gig. It's just too much work. And again, nobody actually thinks about the age that we all are.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and to say 40 years later, we're all, well, I mean, I'm actually 70. Rob must be in his 60s now. Charlie's definitely in his 70s. Nobody knows how anybody's health is.
It's true.
You know, we're so lucky to actually, for one of us not to be in fucking hospital. Never mind getting on the stage and doing a fucking gig. Jesus Christ. So I mean, it's that kind of sort of question, really. I mean, other than it being obviously very naive, there's no, and actually some people have been aggressive about the whole question. And you just think, well, you're not really thinking on your feet here.
No.
You know.
No.
I mean, they haven't taken anything into consideration. They're obviously 45 years ago brainwires, you know, not thinking of how anybody's developed or done anything. And that's a bit kind of annoying, really, you know. And it's
Well, I think also to put to the records, because there's always, in any band when they split up, the rumours. Well, you and Charlie went on to form the Streetwalkers for many years and had a lot of success. And there wasn't a falling out between the two of you, just went your separate ways.
just drifted. Yeah.
Exactly. And you still keep in touch with each other?
Well, not that much, to be honest. You know, I mean, maybe a couple of emails a year.
But that's still keeping in touch?
Yes, you know, but we obviously we don't mix. So I live here, he lives there, and Rob and I see each other probably not that much, but more occasionally, just because we're about 5 miles away from each other where we live, you know.
I have a tendency of touring Germany, and everywhere I play, they say, "Guess who was here last night?" or "Guess who we got to one night?" I know. So you know, the paths cross quite a bit.
No, you've all sort of been doing your own thing, and successfully as well. And as you said, Rog, it's keeping healthy. We're all getting older, and people can't expect you to be like you were 40 years ago. And I don't think the majority of people that, with all due respect, that are going to go to those gigs, they're just delighted you're getting back together.
Oh, I think there's going to be some fantastic warmth from these people.
Definitely.
It's just going to be like really good for us. Not just the people in the band, but for themselves and all of us as a collective thing. It's going to be such a... a warm feeling. I'm considered, but there are going to be some. There's probably going to be about 50 to 70 people who are going to have that right on because it's not the band they wanted to see.
Or you didn't
and it's
play
not the songs
exactly.
they expected you to play. Do you know
Why
what I mean?
didn't you do?
They're going to go out the door and go, huh, huh, huh.
Yeah.
Are there going to be any more gigs?
Oh, well, I mean, we're getting, I wouldn't say offers, but people suggesting that maybe we might like to play here and there. You know, I think generally we all want to see what happens February.
I'd like to see
It's going to be so different for us. And for 2 nights, it's actually like putting a West End musical on for 2 days. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of work we've still got to do, never mind anything else.
No, I can believe it, but
The songs have never been played ever since. We've never played together ever since, you know. And so it's a hell of a lot of work.
Your styles change, you know.
Yeah.
I've been listening to some of the old tracks. You know, I was 19, 20 then, and I'm sort of now. And you know, you play with the amount of energy that you think you've got, but when you listen to some of the live stuff that we did then, I think, bloody hell, how did I manage that? You know, and people have got to realise that not only have you physically changed, your musical approach has changed. You know, you did things then which were off the wall. That, you know, they seemed right. Technically, they were probably wrong. They were wrong from quite a few times from my point of view. You know, whereas now you've learnt a bit more. And you think, oh, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you put yourself into a routine.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens. That's called old age, mate. It is, you know. I mean, the great ones go on and invent forever and ever.
No, I think
it's
I think you summed it up, Rod, when you said, I think on that night there'll be a real feel-good factor. You will always get 1 or 2 people that will moan.
Oh, it's going to be tears in the eyes and all that shit.
But
and I mean that
and
in the
the
nicest
audience.
possible way.
Yeah.
And the audience, yeah.
Well, what I would say about the book as well is that you did mention to me that, you know, when you were going through the script that Pete had written and the quotes he'd got, because obviously you wanted to have a look, that, you know, there were times in there when it was like a roller coaster reading back, and it did make you quite tearful to look back at 40 years,
Yeah.
you know, and some amazing times that you had. And you were a very close-knit unit, you know.
I learned more about myself reading the book than I've ever known.
And the cherry on the top, of course, has been your Classic Rock Award, which your first ever award.
Well, Rob's.
Rob's Classic Rock Award, indeed. Which at last, I mean, it is disgraceful that this is the first time in 40 years. You should have been recognised long before now. This is your first award, and it very well earned. And you know, you can tell by the fellow musicians that were in the room that night, including Lenny, Rick Wakeman, even Captain Sensible from The Damned I was talking to, all thought it was wonderful. You were at last getting some recognition.
He was wonderful, actually. Some years ago I did Glastonbury, and I didn't know him. I mean the drummer, and I forgot his flaming name. Scabies. That's Scabies. Right, and he was talking to one of the guys. He was talking to one of the guys that I was playing with, and I came in the dressing room, and he said, "Oh, do you know Rob?" And he said, "No." He said, "Rob Townsend, that's Scabies." And I said, "Hi." And he said, "Hello, really your fan." And I went to walk on. He said, "You know Rob Townsend had a family, are you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh my goodness, oh!" And he dropped down on his knee, didn't he fall? And he said, "God," he said, "we just put a single out." He said, "I nicked the drumming off of Peace of Mind off of Doll's House." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, straight lift." Anyway, you know, I forgot all about it. And then about 3 weeks later, a record came in through the post, and it was his single. It was one of their sort of letter headings with all rats and everything and snakes around the letter, and he says, "I told you I nicked your drumming." Well,
the thing about the Classic Rock Awards is it brought you to a new audience as well, which is great, because there was a lot of younger rock bands there and fans. So it's just nice to get, and people will want to explore that. And as I say, it's just great, because that it's just been the cherry on top. We've got the box, the reunion gig, which is exciting a lot of people. Now, favourite family album, Rob, if I was to put you on the spot, what would you think? Today and now, it may change next week.
He's going to totally disagree with me.
But what would you say?
My personal favourite, because I love some of the songs on it, is It's Only a Movie.
I love it too, yeah.
And I have a son who thinks Leroy is one of the best songs he's ever heard.
It's a grower, that, it definitely is. I couldn't agree. Roger, what about you?
Well, I bounce between a few. I mean, the only one that I think is really under par is Anyway. In retrospect. But the others all have some kind of good points. I wouldn't say I'm satisfied with any of them all the way through.
Everybody's got a favourite. I mean, Trev, who runs your website, one of his favourite albums is Anyway. So, do you know, that's not one of your favourites.
No.
Everybody is
well,
different.
it's a soft. You see, the thing is, Anyway was, I suppose, a softer thing. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. It's unfortunate it was a live show that we should never have actually put down on tape. We were so much better than that. But as mad as we were, and to be honest, it's a typical family thing, is that we kind of knocked the new songs up in the afternoon, then decided to do them on stage and record them. I mean, how fucking mad is that?
Was Compass on?
I mean, we were rehearsing these things in the dressing room the day of the show, brand new songs. And for that, I mean, that's just completely illogical, and I love it for that. But at the same time, we should have waited at least 3 months.
Spontaneity.
I stood in the wings to walk on, and you decided to do Compass. And I said, what do I play? And they said, you got a tambourine or something? I said, yeah, and that's what it is.
But that's Roger's instrument.
Yes.
We couldn't afford it.
Session money out of it.
Oh, my father, last week.